My name is Melvin Dickson, and I've been living in this area since I came here in 1959. I come here from the South. I'm talking about Jim Crow South. And I came out by way of the U.S. Navy, uh, and I actually volunteered went in the Navy in 1959, and they sent me here. Actually, San Diego. From there, I came here, San Francisco, and caught a ship, and I guess sailed 4 times across the Far East and back here. This was the home port. So I got to know this community quite well during that period before the party started. And of course, I was here when the party started. I had been in the service. So in 1966, when the party started up, I had just started to work for dairy, Foremost Dairy, very close by at the time. It's no longer there. There used to be a plant over on Telegraph Avenue back in those days. And I was a delivery service person, and that's how I came in contact with the party, because many of the members, early members, I used to deliver milk to their house. Bobby Seale's house right up the street. It's on sale right now, but his house was part of the beginning of the party. It served as the headquarters pretty much. The school right across the street, the City College as we called it then, Merritt College. So they closed that some years ago. At any rate, my experience in joining the party was was very exciting at the time. There was lots of things happening, and some of you who was around might remember. I don't know. Looked like a pretty young crowd here. But the food component of the Black Panther Party was a big part of it, because it was one of the things that brought in our first program, one of our first programs, the free breakfast program. So I was pointing out that the food program of the Black Panther Party was a key component of organizing the community. Because one thing you can guarantee in a oppressed community, you're going to find hunger. And despite the fact that the United States is the wealthiest country in the world, and there's much food around, we still have hunger. That's a shame, as we know. It was a shame back then. So one of the things that the party started, recognized during the Free Huey campaign, was to start up the free breakfast program, because we understood that it was going to take a lot more than patrolling the police. And that was just a tactic. And as Huey used to point out, the police had more guns than we did. So the smartest thing to do is start organizing programs. So the free breakfast program started up under that framework, understanding that is, because the need was there, and we recognized it right away that once we start feeding those children, it really resonated in the community in terms of the adults, the families, the parents, etc. And it was a way of not only meeting the need, but we were gaining support, community support. So from the free breakfast program throughout the party existence, we expanded on it, because we started doing food giveaways. And we would organize big rallies, and we would get lots of food donated from the businesses and wherever way we could get it. And lots of young whites, we call them hippies back then, would grow their food and bring us food, and we would utilize that food. And as a matter of fact, we started up our gardens at our facility, like the center out in East Oakland. But that became just a staple of the party, having food. Anytime we had benefits or activities in the community, we always had food. And we got participation from the community through that. And lots of the parents of the children and lots of members of the community would come in and participate. And of course, we had to get the word out to them, and we done that. So one of the media we used was the KPFA and we'd do a radiothon, and they would actually announce it on KPFA and have the community people coming out, and all day we would have activities, and we'd be feeding people food all the time, and that was a key part. I'll just make that statement. But I had a little statement I want to read, but I won't take the time. Maybe I can get back to it. Because I think this can extend to other things. The statement I wrote is changing time we live in. Since the Occupy 99% movement began 6 months ago, the people of the world are beginning to recognize their strength and solidarity and their action for justice against the 1% that dominates the economy and social institution of the world. Wall Street, the Federal Bank, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and the White House are all based in the United States of America, the most powerful, wealthy, and wasteful country in the world. These are the institutions, places, and entities which set policies on such things as commodities, prices, markets, and tariffs throughout the world. Currently, the high cost of food is being driven by the high cost of energy that is needed to produce, store, and distribute the food in order to maximize profits. Why would we continue on the old path of strictly capitalist production when an urgent need for a new path, a start, is already in our face? According to numerous studies, oil consumption energy peaked over 45 years ago. There are less and less oil while there are more and more people on the planet increasing the use of fossil fuel, which, as studies after studies has shown, pollute the environment, the growing, manufacturing, and producing food, not to mention the automobile industry. So it is for this reason that the radical goal and principles of the 1960s and 1970s, all power to the people, resonate today. The need to start in this country and here, resonating from north to south, from east to west throughout the world, because the world is dependent on us, the American people, to get the lead out. It's obvious that the struggling peoples in Egypt and struggling peoples all around the world need us, the American 99% of our common oppressor. Organizers today have to recognize the limitation of any one era or one place and then make the necessary tactical advancement to compensate for the shortcomings and lessons of the past. A point of departure. All power to the people is a way of governance in the world. This is the global battle cry, which means a fundamental paradigm shift in perspective on how we produce our energy to keep it in the hands of the people or the local community thereof. There can be no all power to the peoples of if our energy resources remain in the hands of the capitalist oppressor. This is where the alternative approach to food production is urgently needed to restore this vital need in the hands of our diverse community, not in the hands of the current capitalist exploiters. We have to find a way to remove them from the control of our government and communities. Sorry. Okay. For instance, China population at once, I missed something here, I'm sorry. A comprehensive study of the world's energy resources. Time is running out because fossil fuel is finite and the disaster are already here, not only in the many oil spills around the world, but in the carbon dioxide from the increasing number of automobiles. China population that once depended on bicycles has now increased the number of automobiles from 4 millions in 2004 to 8 millions in 2008. And recognizing the fact of our species and collective problem on this planet, it is about time that everyone join in by taking measures to turn this situation around. If we are honest about the condition we face, one can learn the way of the future. Cuba was forced to deal with their reality. The fact was after the fall of the Soviet Union, they had no other alternative but to find a new alternative. All power to people.